Alright, so welcome back to our next episode of the coaching series, and of course this round we're going to continue on our lead generation 101 and we're going to the next segment. Previous round we actually talked about door knocking, and this time around we're going to talk about roadshows and of course telemarketing as well. Let's go! Mindset of a salesperson has become a very passive for the past 11 years.
This counts.
The importance underlying foundation of all lead generation has to be ROI. Alright, so what is ROI? It's called return on investment, and let me dabble a little bit into that. So that is actually all the core principles that every marketer should have. If you read very widely on direct marketing, direct prospecting methods and lead gen methods as a whole, you realize that they always have this lingo called the return on investment. So why is that important? Now the key reason is because it would then be a very ineffective use of resources. Resources come about in your dollars and your time and also the effort, right? So three portions: your effort, your time spent in doing the direct marketing or prospecting, your effort spent, plus the amount of money that you spend on creating that content, plus distributing that content. Very importantly, if you do not calculate your ROI or potential ROI, because we can't exactly calculate to the dollar, but you need to have a very good gauge on what is the return on investment based on your past history, plus based on your calculation on using this new content and stuff like that. So if your ROI potentially is very low, then you need to revisit, does this lead gen method suits your business model, or is there any other form of lead gen method that can better complement who you are as a business person and how your business model is running at the current moment or in the current market. Sometimes markets shift differently and the ROI of certain methods will start to drop, certain methods will start to rise, and so you also need to be very sensitive about consumers' behavior, really being at the forefront to know how you can really reach out to them and putting out the content that adds value to your consumers. Alright, so today we're going to talk about direct prospecting, and we're going to dwell further in on the next two methods, which is roadshow as well as telemarketing. Let's talk about roadshow first, right? So last round we talked about door knocking. Just to recap, direct prospecting, very low cost but high intensity in amount of time. Direct marketing basically is cost is higher, but the time is high at the front because you need to create that content, you put in a lot of effort, skills and experience. But the beauty of direct marketing is that the marketing content can be distributed ongoing and ongoing and ongoing 24/7. Direct prospecting, you have to exchange your personal time to reach out for one-to-one FaceTime with the consumer. Both has its pros and cons. It depends on where you are right now at your business. So for new agents, direct prospecting is great. Even for experienced agents, direct prospecting is still a must because we are in the people's business. We need to meet people one-to-one. Most of the time, you need to share your knowledge and experience. So I think it's important to maintain and always beef up on your skill level on direct prospecting. So second method is roadshow. Is roadshow effective in today's context? Right now at the tail end of year 2019, is it still effective? Do we see a lot of agents doing that? I think before we do something, we must reverse engineer and see, firstly, what is the potential target audience that we can reach out to during a roadshow? What will the target audience be thinking about when they meet you at the roadshow itself? For example, if you're doing a new launch, the launch is stipulated to be up in 1 month's time during the preview or during the balloting. Basically, you're spending this good 1 month to conduct roadshow at maybe at different locations, shopping malls, atriums and stuff like that, which you usually see a lot of people doing that. You have to think, okay, who will be the potential target audience that I can really meet them one-to-one at this location? All right, will there be enough human traffic? What would they think of me approaching them when they see me? Secondly is that, what are they doing prior to coming to see my roadshow and what activities are they doing? It's very important because, for example, if let's say your roadshow is positioned in the place that people are actually rushing to do something very urgent, rushing to take the bus or stuff like that, and probably they might not have time to really stop by and then listen to what you have to say. So you have to be in a position whereby you have to analyze the human traffic plus the motivation of the human traffic. Secondly is that, just imagine if you are the consumer, you're in the shopping mall, you head out to the open air atrium at level 1, you saw the roadshow, a couple of brokers are there promoting this new launch, then someone walk up to you. What do you want to hear if you are a consumer? What do you want to see? I mean, in terms of the dressing of the broker, what are the first 2 sentences that you would like to hear from the broker that will potentially attract you to stop your footsteps walking to your car park, that you want to spend your precious time for the next couple of minutes to listen to what him or her has to say? Importantly, what is your script? What is your script that you're trying to create value at a very, very short time frame in the first 10 seconds that can really garner the attention? Do you have something that is valid on the spot at the roadshow that you can actually invite the person to sit down and then talk a little bit more about the new launch, about the potential and stuff like that? Or if let's say it's like a buyer consultation session and things like that, is there existing so-called like value that you can add to them on the spot immediately? So very importantly, when you do road shows, I think you need to pre-plan a lot of things because people are busy walking around. They have their different agendas, going for shopping, lunch, dinner, meeting people for coffee. So you really want them to spend that time sitting there talking to you. Then you have to pre-plan, make very good preparation. But you also have to think, are you doing free advertisements for somebody else? Because end of the day, if let's say you just want to go to a roadshow with a mindset that you just want to give out your flyers to tell them about the new launch, put your numbers there, how will the person behave, right? So if I walk past you, I take on the brochure, I look at it, there's a new launch, the name of the project, I saw your name number, probably I'll just crush it, throw it in the dustbin because now we're all going digital. I don't want to carry any pamphlets home, right? Maybe when I'm home, the very first thing is if I'm keen in the project, I might sit down on my laptop and start to key in the project details. And then I can chance upon a few websites that has done so-called Google AdWords and stuff, and maybe I will click on one of the link, and that could be one of your competitors' website as well. And then from there, probably the consumer will key in their name and details and email, asking for floor plans and information. Technically speaking, you're doing free publicizing and advertisement for the other competitor. If you go to a roadshow with a mindset without an ROI in return, and you just want to be a pamphlet giver, then I think the ROI is very low because you're spending your time, effort, printing of your brochures, your entire weekend is there, but you're doing free publicizing for other brokers and other competitors that are doing more digital marketing on Google AdWords and stuff like that. If you want to do roadshow, it is important to think, okay, how do you get people to stop on their tracks, offer them something of immediate value, that you can actually create an additional appointment, probably to meet them 2 days later or maybe later in the afternoon and stuff like that, so that at least you have that contact detail to take action so you can add immediate value rather than having the mindset of giving out a pamphlet. Alright, so that's for roadshow. To recap what we have just shared, this is of course based on our personal opinion. There's no hard and fast rule. A lot of people have success doing roadshows, and if you have success, you should continue to do that until you notice that the ROI has dipped. Next episode, we're going to talk about telemarketing, and we'll see you soon.